Mobile device warfare. Advanced threat detection and countermeasures. Welcome back to Cybernetic Warfare Frontlines, where we decode the most sophisticated digital threats and arm you with the knowledge to defend against tomorrow's cyber adversaries. Today, we're conducting a comprehensive threat assessment of one of the most vulnerable yet essential pieces of equipment in modern warfare, your mobile device. In the modern digital battlefield, mobile devices have become both our greatest assets and our most dangerous liabilities. These pocket-sized computers contain more processing power than entire military installations possessed just decades ago, yet they remain woefully unprotected against advanced persistent threats designed specifically to exploit their vulnerabilities. Today, we're examining the tactical indicators that reveal when your mobile device has been compromised and the immediate countermeasures necessary to neutralize these threats. The threat landscape targeting mobile devices has evolved from opportunistic criminal enterprises to sophisticated state-sponsored operations capable of conducting long-term intelligence-gathering missions through compromised smartphones and tablets. These attacks often remain undetected for months or years, silently extracting sensitive communications, location data, and personal information that can be weaponized against individuals, organizations, and entire nations. The mobile threat ecosystem. Understanding your adversaries. Modern mobile device threats originate from multiple threat actor categories, each with distinct capabilities, motivations, and operational methodologies. State-sponsored advanced persistent threat groups represent the most sophisticated adversaries, deploying zero-day exploits and custom malware designed to maintain persistent access to target devices while evading detection by traditional security measures. Criminal organizations have industrialized mobile device exploitation, creating malware-as-a-service platforms that enable less technically sophisticated actors to deploy advanced surveillance and data extraction tools. These criminal networks often focus on financial fraud, identity theft, and ransomware operations that can devastate individual victims and small businesses. Perhaps most concerning for personal security are targeted attacks conducted by individuals with intimate knowledge of their victims. Former partners, business associates, or other personal adversaries often possess the physical access and social engineering opportunities necessary to install sophisticated surveillance tools directly onto target devices. These attacks frequently employ commercially available spyware solutions that provide comprehensive monitoring capabilities without requiring advanced technical expertise. The democratization of surveillance technology has created an environment where anyone with sufficient motivation and modest financial resources can conduct sophisticated monitoring operations against their targets. Commercial spyware platforms offer features that were once exclusive to intelligence agencies, including real-time location tracking, communication interception, and remote device control capabilities. Tactical indicators of device compromised. The first tactical indicator of potential device compromise involves abnormal power consumption patterns that deviate significantly from established baseline behavior. Sophisticated malware often operates continuously in the background, maintaining network connections, processing intercepted data, and transmitting intelligence to command and control servers. These operations consume substantial battery resources, creating detectable power drain signatures that trained analysts can identify. Advanced threat actors attempt to minimize their operational footprint by optimizing malware efficiency and implementing power management features, but the fundamental physics of digital surveillance operations require computational resources that inevitably impact device performance. Modern smartphones include detailed battery usage analytics that can reveal applications or processes consuming unexpected amounts of power, providing early warning indicators of potential compromise. The examination of power consumption patterns requires establishing baseline measurements during normal device operation, then monitoring for statistical deviations that suggest unauthorized background activity. Sudden increases in power consumption without corresponding changes in user behavior or installed applications represent significant red flags requiring immediate investigation. Communication interception represents another critical threat vector that manifests through audible indicators during voice calls. Advanced surveillance operations often involve real-time call monitoring or recording capabilities that introduce electronic artifacts into the communication stream. These artifacts typically present as unusual clicking sounds, static interference, or echo effects that differ from normal cellular network quality variations. Professional surveillance equipment attempts to minimize detection by filtering communication streams and removing obvious artifacts, but the technical limitations of real-time signal processing often leave subtle but detectable traces. Intelligence professionals train extensively to recognize these acoustic signatures and differentiate them from routine network interference or equipment malfunctions. The sophistication of communication interception varies significantly based on the threat actor's capabilities and resources. State-sponsored operations often employ advanced signal processing techniques that minimize detectable artifacts, while less sophisticated adversaries may use commercial surveillance tools that introduce more obvious interference patterns. Application ecosystem manipulation and detection. Unauthorized application installation represents one of the most common and dangerous attack vectors against mobile devices. Threat actors deploy malicious applications designed to appear legitimate while secretly conducting surveillance, data extraction, or device control operations. These applications often masquerade as system utilities, entertainment software, or productivity tools to avoid suspicion from device users. The detection of unauthorized applications requires systematic auditing of all installed software, comparing current application inventories against known installation records. Many device users install numerous applications over time without maintaining detailed records, creating opportunities for malicious software to hide among legitimate programs. Advanced threat actors often deploy applications with names and icons designed to mimic legitimate system software or popular consumer applications. These deceptive applications may include fake security software, system optimization tools, or communication platforms that secretly monitor user activities while providing minimal legitimate functionality. The technical sophistication of malicious applications varies dramatically based on the threat actor's resources and objectives. Simple keylogging applications may only capture typed input, while advanced surveillance platforms can access cameras, microphones, location services, and communication applications simultaneously. Professional malware analysis requires examining application permissions, network activity, and system integration patterns to identify potentially malicious behavior. Applications requesting excessive permissions relative to their stated functionality represent significant security risks requiring immediate attention. Network behavior analysis and data exfiltration detection. Sophisticated surveillance operations require regular communication between infected devices and command and control infrastructure to transmit collected intelligence and receive operational instructions. These communications create detectable network traffic patterns that trained analysts can identify through systematic monitoring and analysis. Data exfiltration operations typically involve transmitting large volumes of intercepted communications, recorded audio, captured images, and harvested personal information to remote servers controlled by threat actors. These transmission operations consume significant network bandwidth and create distinctive traffic patterns that differ from normal application usage. Modern smartphones include detailed network usage statistics that track data consumption by individual applications and system processes. Unusual data usage patterns, particularly during periods of minimal user activity, can indicate active surveillance operations or data exfiltration activities. The timing and volume of suspicious network activity often provide insights into the sophistication and objectives of threat actors. Simple data harvesting operations may transmit information in large batches during off-peak hours, while advanced persistent threats often maintain constant low-level communications to avoid detection. Professional network analysis requires establishing baseline traffic patterns for individual devices and users, then monitoring for statistical anomalies that suggest unauthorized data transmission. Advanced threat actors employ encryption and traffic obfuscation techniques to hide their communications, but the volume and timing of network activity often remain detectable. System performance degradation and malware indicators. Malicious software installation often degrades overall device performance through resource consumption, system modification, and background processing operations. These performance impacts manifest as slower application loading times, increased response latency, unexpected system restarts, and thermal management issues that indicate excessive processor utilization. Advanced malware often implements sophisticated resource management capabilities designed to minimize performance impact and avoid detection, but the fundamental computational requirements of surveillance operations inevitably affect device behavior. Modern smartphones include detailed performance monitoring capabilities that can reveal processes consuming unexpected system resources. The analysis of system performance degradation requires understanding normal device behavior patterns and identifying deviations that suggest unauthorized software installation. Gradual performance degradation over time may indicate normal device aging, while sudden changes often suggest malware installation or system compromise. Professional malware analysis involves examining process lists, memory utilization patterns, and system modification indicators to identify potentially malicious activity. Advanced threats often employ rootkit techniques to hide their presence from standard detection tools, requiring specialized forensic analysis capabilities. Immediate threat response and containment procedures. Upon detecting potential device compromise, immediate containment measures become critical to prevent further intelligence loss and limit adversary access to sensitive information. The first priority involves severing all network connections to prevent ongoing data exfiltration and command and control communications. Activating airplane mode immediately disables cellular, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth communications, effectively isolating the compromised device from external networks. This isolation provides a secure environment for conducting detailed forensic analysis while preventing further unauthorized access or data transmission. The containment phase must balance security requirements with investigative needs, preserving evidence of compromise while preventing further damage. Advanced threat actors may implement anti-forensic capabilities designed to destroy evidence or corrupt system integrity when their presence is detected. Professional incident response requires maintaining detailed documentation of all containment actions, system states, and forensic findings to support subsequent analysis and potential legal proceedings. The preservation of digital evidence often proves crucial for identifying threat actors and understanding their operational capabilities. Comprehensive threat eradication and system restoration. Following successful containment, systematic threat eradication requires identifying and removing all malicious software, configuration changes, and persistent access mechanisms installed by adversaries. This process often involves detailed forensic analysis to understand the full scope of system compromise and ensure complete threat removal. Advanced persistent threats frequently install multiple access mechanisms and backup surveillance tools designed to maintain access even if primary malware is detected and removed. Comprehensive eradication requires identifying all threat components and removing them simultaneously to prevent reinfection or continued surveillance. Professional malware removal often requires specialized forensic tools capable of detecting sophisticated threats that evade standard antivirus software. Advanced threat actors employ polymorphic malware, rootkit technologies, and other evasion techniques specifically designed to avoid detection by commercial security products. The verification of successful threat eradication requires comprehensive system scanning, behavioral analysis, and ongoing monitoring to ensure no residual malicious activity remains. Some advanced threats may remain dormant for extended periods before reactivating, requiring long-term monitoring to confirm complete removal. Advanced persistent threat mitigation strategies. Defending against sophisticated mobile device threats requires implementing comprehensive security architectures that address both technical vulnerabilities and operational security practices. Enterprise-grade mobile device management solutions provide centralized security policy enforcement, threat detection capabilities, and incident response coordination. Advanced threat mitigation involves deploying multiple overlapping security controls that collectively provide defense-in-depth protection against various attack vectors. These controls include application whitelisting, network traffic analysis, behavioral monitoring, and cryptographic protection for sensitive communications. Professional mobile security programs implement zero-trust security models that assume device compromise and require continuous verification of device integrity and user authentication. These models minimize the potential impact of successful attacks by limiting access to sensitive resources and maintaining detailed audit trails of all activities. The development of organizational mobile security policies requires balancing security requirements with operational efficiency and user productivity. Overly restrictive policies may encourage users to circumvent security controls, while insufficient protection leaves organizations vulnerable to sophisticated attacks. Intelligence-driven threat hunting and attribution. Proactive threat hunting involves systematically searching for indicators of compromise and advanced persistent threats that may have evaded automated detection systems. This process requires understanding current threat actor tactics, techniques, and procedures to identify subtle indicators of malicious activity. Intelligence-driven threat hunting leverages information about known threat actors, their preferred tools, and operational methodologies to guide investigative efforts. This approach enables security teams to identify sophisticated attacks that might otherwise remain undetected for extended periods. Threat attribution involves analyzing attack patterns, malware characteristics, and operational indicators to identify the likely threat actors responsible for specific incidents. This analysis supports both defensive planning and potential countermeasures against persistent adversaries. Professional threat attribution requires extensive knowledge of threat actor capabilities, historical attack patterns, and technical indicators that distinguish different adversary groups. This expertise enables security teams to predict likely future attacks and implement appropriate defensive measures. Operational security and behavioral countermeasures. Effective mobile device security requires implementing operational security practices that minimize exposure to social engineering attacks and physical device access opportunities. These practices include secure device handling procedures, communication discipline, and environmental awareness during sensitive activities. Behavioral countermeasures involve modifying user activities and communication patterns to reduce predictability and limit adversary intelligence gathering opportunities. These modifications may include varying routine activities, using multiple communication channels, and implementing deception techniques to confuse potential surveillance operations. Professional operational security requires understanding adversary collection capabilities and developing countermeasures specifically designed to defeat known surveillance techniques. This approach involves continuous adaptation based on evolving threat actor capabilities and operational requirements. The implementation of operational security measures must be balanced against practical operational requirements and user acceptance. Complex security procedures that significantly impact productivity or usability may be abandoned by users, reducing overall security effectiveness. Future threat evolution and defensive adaptation. The mobile threat landscape continues evolving rapidly as threat actors develop new attack vectors and defensive technologies advance to counter emerging threats. Future mobile devices will likely incorporate enhanced security features, but adversaries will simultaneously develop more sophisticated attack capabilities. Artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies will play increasingly important roles in both offensive and defensive mobile security operations. These technologies enable automated threat detection, behavioral analysis, and adaptive defense mechanisms that can respond to novel attack patterns. The proliferation of Internet of Things devices and edge computing platforms will create new attack surfaces and operational challenges for mobile security programs. These environments will require novel security architectures and defensive strategies specifically designed for distributed computing models. Professional mobile security programs must maintain continuous awareness of emerging threats and evolving attack techniques to ensure defensive capabilities remain effective against current adversaries. This requires ongoing investment in threat intelligence, security research, and defensive technology development. Strategic implications and organizational preparedness. Mobile device security represents a critical component of comprehensive cybersecurity programs that must address both individual device protection and organizational security architecture. The integration of mobile devices into business operations creates complex security interdependencies that require careful planning and coordination. Organizational preparedness for mobile device threats requires developing incident response capabilities, user training programs, and policy frameworks that address the unique challenges of mobile computing environments. These programs must balance security requirements with operational flexibility and user productivity. The strategic implications of mobile device threats extend beyond individual organizations to impact national security, economic stability, and social infrastructure. Widespread mobile device compromise could enable large-scale intelligence-gathering operations or disruptive attacks against critical infrastructure systems. Professional mobile security programs require ongoing collaboration between government agencies, private sector organizations, and international partners to address sophisticated threat actors and emerging attack vectors. This collaboration enables information sharing, coordinated response efforts, and collective defense strategies. Conclusion: the modern mobile device represents both a powerful tool for communication and productivity and a significant vulnerability that sophisticated adversaries actively exploit. Understanding the indicators of device compromise and implementing appropriate countermeasures has become essential for anyone handling sensitive information or operating in contested environments. The threat actors targeting mobile devices possess capabilities and resources that continue expanding as commercial surveillance technologies become more accessible and advanced. Organizations and individuals who understand these threats and implement appropriate defensive measures will maintain significant advantages over those who remain unprepared for the realities of modern digital warfare. The battle for mobile device security is ongoing, with new threats emerging continuously as defensive technologies advance. Victory in this domain requires constant vigilance, continuous learning, and adaptive strategies that evolve alongside the threat landscape. Remember that in the digital realm, complacency is vulnerability, and preparation is your greatest weapon. Thank you for joining us on Cybernetic Warfare Frontlines for this comprehensive analysis of mobile device threats and countermeasures. Subscribe for more tactical intelligence on the technologies and adversaries shaping tomorrow's digital battlefield. And stay sharp, your security depends on it.